Dominik Pettey. Wow. Whenever we hear that name now, we smile, then frown, and even shed a tear. Or 11. But in the good old days, the name Dominik Pettey got everyone excited. The kid was fantastic. I mean, if you ever met him, even once, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He was a looker, a ladies' man, a dude, a son, brother, but most importantly, a friend. We still ponder at how something so tragic could happen to someone so beautiful. But let's face it, Dominik is and always will be the most outgoing and happiest person you will have ever met. Shedding a tear when we hear his name is something he wouldn't want. Dominik touched the lives of thousands of people, literally. And with so many great memories made with friends, it'd be a waste to not share some of the good times. Thanks to the help of a few pals, we remember him for everything he was. And if there was one thing he taught us, it was to be happy. So, let's live happy. Let's live like Dom. This is for you.
I first met Dominik in choral arts sophomore year.
The first time I met Dom was sophomore year at homecoming.
I met Dominik in the first grade.
Dom was just a happy kid. You know, he always had a smile on his face, always, looking out for his friends, but always providing some laughter to the room. And that's just something that was very unique about him and something that, everyone loved about him.
Dominik. Describing Dominik, that's crazy. He is so outgoing and so spontaneous. Literally would just show up places or just be like, let's hang out right now. And just so welcoming to everybody. Whoever he met, it was always a hug and a follow on Instagram. And just very loving and very open to everybody.
Anytime I was with him or anytime I saw him or was talking to him, he always had that smile. He was never upset or anything like that. So seeing that smile is just basically his trademark. He had the biggest smile in the world, and that was the best thing to see every time I saw him.
One time he just texted me out of the blue. He's like, yo, I know this place called Michael's. They sell these rocket ships. We gotta go there and get a rocket and get a little toy wooden rocket ship and shoot and fire it off. And I was just like, sure. So he's just spontaneous. He's always willing to do anything to just have some fun or just to mess around. He's such a boy, he always just is willing to be crazy.
My favorite thing about Dom was definitely his energy. He was always so happy and in the best mood. If he ever saw you not smiling or tired or something, he'd run over to you and give you a big hug and ask you if you're okay, see if anything was wrong. He was always so much fun to be around and just had this light that he brought into the room, and everybody knew him. Everyone noticed him. He was always such the life of the party.
Dominik at Gonzaga was a really funny guy, a really nice guy. He always had a smile on his face and was always there to brighten up your day.
His personality was just infectious. Every time you saw him, your day would brighten up, and anytime you weren't feeling good, he would make sure to take care of that and put you in a good mood again.
Over the summer, going into senior year, we all went to the fair together, and I ended up buying this huge cup of lemonade.
And I took one sip of it, and he comes along and takes the entire thing of lemonade, drinks it all, and proceeds to stick his hand in and then eat the lemon whole. And he just kept on telling me like how much he loved to eat lemons. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, that's something really interesting.
At this point in time, you'd expect Dominik to walk in right now with a lemon, some friends, and a baseball hat flipped on backwards. But we know things turned out differently.
Feel him every day. Think about him every day.
Inspiration from a number. Memories of a smile can be so bright, they never fade.
He never had a bad day. He was always the energy in the room, make everyone laugh. He was always happy.
We're not just saying that. Like, he literally was happy 24/7. It was so, like, if you're having a bad day, like, it was annoying to see Dom because he was so happy. Like, let me just have my bad day.
A student named Dominik Pettey died in the crash. He and his friends were hit after running out of gas and pulling over on the shoulder of the
I heard the news. Honestly, I cried. I woke up in the morning. I woke up to 20 text messages on my phone telling me to come to St. Al's for a prayer service. I didn't really know what to think of it until I actually called one of my friends and they told me the news. After crying for about 5-10 minutes, I just realized I needed to get to St. Al's for the prayer service to be with my Gonzaga brothers, because they are really who helped me through this and how we really got through this as a class.
I woke up and Maggie was calling me, and I heard the news, and it didn't sink in at all at first. And so then I went downstairs and I told my dad, who was already up, and that's when it really hit me. That's when it was really hard. And then after that, I texted my friend John, and he said he goes to Gonzaga too, and he said that there's a prayer service at Gonzaga, and so I went down there and we kind of just prayed and recalled memories of Dom, and then I came back and Maggie was over.
Well, when I heard the news, I was in Virginia, and I was with two of my friends. And for some reason they had left me behind, and I was sick in the car, and my friend Annie called me and she told me what had happened, and I completely stopped breathing, and I just I vomited, and I just started crying, and I just couldn't stop, and I was uncontrollably just sobbing, and I couldn't breathe, so they had to give me a paper bag, and I just stuck my head out of the window so I could get the air in me. But it was the wind was knocked out of me. I was in disbelief completely.
When I heard it, I thought it was a joke, a very bad joke, and kind of took a step back and then just started crying. Good amount. Just didn't think it could be real.
When I first heard the news, November 1st, I saw it on Twitter for the first time, and then I called up one of my friends and we talked about it, and then I went down to the prayer service at Gonzaga. And it really shows a lot about Dom that 100 kids would come out to an impromptu prayer service on a Saturday morning.
When I found out, I was home, had just gotten home, and I got a phone call from my friend who was at Gonzaga for GDA, and she was sobbing, and it just took me a minute. I didn't know what was wrong, and I thought it was a joke. Or then she said it. She kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to say it." And she told me, and I was in complete shock. All of us were. I don't think any of us believed it at first. Got off the phone with her. I called Megan to see if she knew, and we were just sobbing on the phone. We didn't say anything at all.
When I found out, I was texting Dennis, and he had texted me that morning, and then I responded later, and then he didn't respond to me, and then my friend texted me and said, "Did you hear?" And I didn't think she was telling the truth. I was like, "Okay, yeah, right, come on, this isn't funny." And then Dennis texted me back and had told me what happened, and he was very short about it, and then I just completely broke down, didn't know what to do. I was just sobbing, and I mean, it was just it was just, I was just in disbelief. I didn't believe it, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. And then a bunch of us, me and Brennan and like a bunch of Holy Cross girls went to Holy Redeemer, and then we prayed a lot, and we just hung out with each other, and we're just there for each other. And we went to another church, and we prayed again, and we just were praying all day, and we were talking to him and saying stories about him and memories about him, just basically just being there for each other. So Dom and Dennis picked us up at my house, and we went to this good counsel party that Marisa had found, and she was the only one that knew the people there. And so we went to the party, and then this girl came out that was throwing the party and like said hi to us and everything, and Dom couldn't get over how gorgeous she was. And then we were walking inside, and Dom and I didn't know anyone there, and so before we went inside, he looked at me and he was like, "Megan, we're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend. We're dating, okay? Like, put your arm around me. We're gonna start dating right now." So we walked into the party, and then he's like, "Yeah, this is my girlfriend," telling everyone we're dating. And then from that moment on, we didn't call each other Dom and Megan, we called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. So that's probably my best memory.
Dominik.
To Dominik, it's been tough without you, buddy. We love you, and I hope you're killing it up there in heaven. Hope you're packing lips with God, throwing the football up in your heavenly Franklin lot, parking lot. And please don't forget us. And please stay with us in our hearts and in our prayers.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
If there's one thing I could say to the Pettey family, it's just Don's a great kid. He really knew how to make someone smile. He really knew how to brighten up someone's day. He had just a great impact on all the people he knew. It was an awesome experience getting to know him.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Pettey, you guys raised the most amazing, down-to-earth, sweet, fun-loving boy I have ever met. No matter what, I confided in him, and every time I was upset or hurt by anyone else, I would always come to him crying, and he would know exactly what to say to me. Thank you. Oh, I can see that. Thank you for raising the most amazing man.
To Mr. and Mrs. Pettey, I basically just want to say thank you for the way you raised Dom and for making him the man that he was. He was one of the best kids I've ever met, and you guys are just honestly two of the most inspiring people I've ever met. And when I went over to your house with all the Holy Cross girls, just seeing you guys and the way you talk about him and all the things you had to say, it was just so comforting to me to see the way you guys, your outlook on everything and your relationship with God, and the things that you say about the whole situation is just so comforting and uplifting and inspiring to me. And I just want to say thank you for giving me that comfort and that sense that everything's okay and that Dom's okay, and seeing you guys and the way you handle it is just, it just makes me so happy, honestly, to know that you guys are handling it the way that you are, and it just makes me feel so good. And I just want to say thank you for that, and for just thank you for making Dom the man that he was, because he was amazing.
Got your way, yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take.
I would just like to say thank you to the Petteys for being such an inspiration to me and to the community. And that we're very sorry for your loss, but we hope that you know that we're here for you. And we appreciate the strength that you've shown to us. And you guys have been a great model for the community.
I would like to say to the Petteys, not a day goes by that I don't think about Dom or think about you guys and the struggle that you go through, and you're always in my prayers, and thank you for the support that you've been able to show for anxiety community and everyone else who has been watching.
Dom turned to us and he was like, guys, like, feel my hair. And me and Maggie, being like obsessed with him, we like ran our fingers through his hair. I mean, my life was like changed. Let me just say something. Dominik Pettey, your hair is amazing.